I'm your teacher for either 5th period English 10, which is world literature, or I'm your teacher for 6th or 7th period US history. I decided to make it easy on myself and just make one video. Okay, so if you're watching this video right now, you are one of my online learners. And I just want to let you know that this video is just kind of to give you an overview of a few things. By no means do I want to stress you out. I just kind of want to give you a preview for what you can expect, um, from me as your teacher and how we navigate this online time together. So, a couple things I'm going to do today. I just want to say, first of all, hello. I'm so excited to be your teacher. Okay, I hope I get to meet with you soon, whether that's virtually, um, whatever works for you. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but the main idea of today, some things I just want to get you caught up with. I want to get you on Google Classroom so you can see our classroom page. I've got the code in our email. I want you to watch this video that you're hopefully watching right now, just to kind of explain to you how our class is set up, how you can access class materials like our agenda, which is going to be super important. Where you're going to turn in your homework, and then just kind of some options you have for tuning in during the day when we do have class. So, the last thing we're going to do today, after you join Google Classroom, after you watch this video, the last thing I would like you to do is just to set up, shoot me an email and just set up a time you'd like to meet with me online this week. Okay, so we're gonna focus on those three things. I'm gonna start with Google Classroom. So all of you hopefully are pretty experienced with Google Classroom. I know last year at CDH we used that. So here is one of our pages. Okay, 7th grade period US history. Again, you might be one of my English students. Totally a-okay. What I'm going to go over today is just really similar between both classes. Okay? So the biggest thing about getting onto Google Classroom, the biggest thing is two things. One, this is where you're going to find our class agendas. Okay? So as you can see, on your page, you're going to have a welcome. Here's a class syllabus. Here are some things we'll go through together. But the biggest thing is you have an agenda. And this agenda is pretty critical because it explains to you your homework for the week, okay? It explains to you your homework and your learning objective. One thing I'm really working on this year is making sure every time we have class, every time you have an assignment, you know exactly what is expected of you, right? Like what you're supposed to learn from that. So I'm going to come here to our agenda, right? I can just click on it right here. It's linked. This is a live agenda, meaning that this could change, right? This is our weekly agenda. It could totally change. So my advice for you is please don't download this agenda as a PDF, but rather just keep it like this, just so if there are changes, you get the changes right away. So if you look at this, we've got a few things, okay? We have our in-class work with the date. All right, you'll have the week agenda for the date, the class. You'll come down here. The reason why there are two classes because some of you are A through L, and some of you are M through Z, okay? What I want you to know is that this is going to be confusing right away unless you just think about it for a minute, right? Just think about it for a minute. So if you're A through L, you're always going to have the earlier date, right? So if you're A through L watching this, it's Monday, August 31st, and you know that this here is for your August 31st class if you're A through L. But if you're M through Z, then it's Tuesday, and your first class is 9-1. Okay? That's how this is organized. So you're going to access this whenever you access it, but it is important that you remember, okay, my last name starts with an R, so I'm going to be Tuesday 9-1, or my last name starts with a C. Okay, Monday 8:31, I'm working on this, all right? So that's the first thing. Your in-class work has the date beside it, so it is your at-home work, okay? Now I have these separated by days again. So like day 2 of class. For A through L, it'll be Wednesday, 9-2. For M through Z, it'll be Thursday, 9-3. Okay? Kind of have them color coded. So then here's the in-class stuff. Here's the at-home work. If this doesn't make sense right now, it's okay. Here's my advice. It's new. It's a little bit weird. Just think about it. Think about what your last name starts with. If it's A through L, pay attention to that first date. If it's M through Z, pay attention to that second date, okay? Looking below that, there are learning objectives here. With each class period, whether it's at home, whether you're at home virtually or in my class in person, you'll have learning objectives for that class, okay? So you can read through these for our first day of class. And then the biggest part here is the agenda. So what are you actually doing for that class, right? Like, you're my online learners. So you're probably feeling like, oh my, like, how am I going to figure everything out? My idea and my hope was to make this as easy as possible. So the agenda right here is literally everything that we're doing in class is the exact same as what you'll do at home. Okay, so I've worked really hard to make sure that what we're doing in class you can do at home. Okay, so the first thing, they're numbered. I try to link everything like this. Okay, so today or tomorrow, your first day of class, you're going to go through, okay, welcome back. Please learn more about your teacher. That's me, Miss Weiss. Check out these slides. And you'll see I made a slideshow. Okay? Then you'll come down and I'll say, oh, please check out our syllabus. There's our syllabus. Please pay special attention to the highlighted portions. Oh, you'll scroll through that and you'll kind of notice those highlighted portions. Okay, so everything we do in class is possible to do at home, and I have a link there for you. The first day is pretty slack, okay? First day we're just doing a few things. And you'll come down, this is what we're doing in person, and then here's the at-home work. So it's all linked together right there, okay? Typically I have a little bit of directions here, like complete this form, submit it to Google Classroom, familiarize yourself. But what I want to say is, if you're just at home and you have any questions, you're like, I could just need like a snippet of more information about this, then I totally get that. Just email me, okay? With that being said, maybe you want to set up an online meeting every week at the beginning of the week, and we can kind of go through this together, right? We can kind of go through some of this together. The last thing I want to say is that if you want to, you can always join our class in person via Google Meet, Google Hangout, or Zoom. And I'll post that link probably every single morning. Just, hey, if you want to get on, you can meet with us. And that link will probably be on just the mainstream. And that's just if you're like, hey, like I just want to see what's going on. Otherwise, I'll try to just upload videos of me explaining things. But yeah, so this is kind of where you're going to find everything. You're going to go through, you'll find the links here. Almost everything will be submitted on Google Classroom, okay? Now, I'm a human being. If the Dropbox isn't there, shoot me an email. We're working through this together. You are my online learner, but you are just as important as the students I have in class. So it's important for me to be able to work with you and to figure things out. Okay, so overall, you found out that we're going to be on Google Classroom. You've seen this agenda. I want you to tinker with this a little bit on your own today. Just kind of look through it. Please do not feel overwhelmed. Okay, I'm overwhelmed. Everyone's a little overwhelmed. So if you feel that way, it's okay, but please don't let this overwhelm you. Just kind of go through it. We'll go through it together too. Other things I want to talk to you about. Let's go ahead, and I just want to show you some really brief parts on our syllabus this week. Okay, just some things for you to know. I'm gonna set up office hours. They'll likely be on Tuesday and Fridays, and I'll get more out to you about that later. Okay, communication. Please always go to Google Classroom for the agenda, for the due dates, for the homework. Otherwise, email me. And if you don't really want to email me all the time, you're my online learners. If you want to call me, let me know. I'll give you my cell phone. Sometimes it's easier to talk through things in that way, okay? You can kind of read through this on your own. The class expectations, really all I need to tell you is that it's 2020. We're treating every single person, no matter what, with absolute respect, okay? Racial slurs, inappropriate jokes, none of that's going to be tolerated, all right? So everyone deserves to feel welcome in our class, whether that's online or in person, and I will make sure that happens, okay? Materials that you need, you'll get your textbook. You've got your iPad, that'll be essential. Hopefully, you have a folder. Maybe you don't need this so much if you're at home. You can kind of make the call. It depends on a notebook. I like to use notebook for taking notes. You will be taking notes, but maybe you want to figure it out and do it on your iPad. That's kind of up to you. Okay? You can read through some of this stuff. It is important, right? Like late assignments, you got to know that. The last thing I just want to say is adjustment to the hybrid model. So for phase one, you're going to have in-class work and then at home work. I normally try to avoid giving a lot of homework, if any at all, but this year, because of our circumstances, you will have at home work on days where we're not technically meeting as a class. At the end of September, I'm really excited to have you guys, streaming with us all the time, being synchronous in our learning, because we'll have the technology to do that. But for now, you're kind of just checking in on yourselves. You're kind of self-learning this. You're self-guiding. You get to wake up, you get to log on and do your work at your own pace, and I think that's a beautiful thing. But if you have problems with that or you need a little more guidance on anything, please just let me know. Okay? The last part I'd like you to look through is this part where it says message from Miss Weiss. Every single student and teacher is experiencing something new this year. So if you're really excited about being home, if you're really nervous about being home, your feelings are valid. They're totally valid. So what I really just want you to know is I'm trying to figure this out too. So please be patient with me as I figure this out. Please just be patient with me. I'll be patient with you. We're going to give each other both a lot of leeway. Okay? This first week, don't worry if something's a little bit late. That's okay. We're going to figure it out together. Okay? So, I'm going to go ahead. I think this is really all I want to tell you. The last thing I'll do here is I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. And I'll go through a couple things with you just because I can't help myself. This is kind of fun. If this loads. I live in an apartment, so usually my internet's pretty good, but sometimes it's not. So, a little bit about me. First of all, welcome back to the 2021 school year. Welcome back to school. My name is Laura Weiss. You'll call me Miss Weiss, but about me, I'm actually from South Dakota. I was raised on a farm, a really small town. My graduating class had 37 students in it. So just think about that for a moment. I mean, I'm from such a small town. The only fast food restaurant in my hometown was Subway. Still there. The reason why I always start off with this part about me, this, really small town part, is because I went to school every day at a school where everyone knew who I was because it was such a small town, right? Like we all knew each other. All of my teachers knew me. And that really helped me because I felt safe at school. I felt like I had a community at school and I even felt loved. The reason why I tell you that is because I think here at CDH, for me as your teacher, that is the most important thing. I want you to feel respected, cared about, and that you can come to me for anything as far as if it's English, social studies, or maybe it's just something going on in your life, okay? I had a great community in my small town, and I really believe CDH has that type of community too. Not really tractors or like cornfields, but you know what I mean in different ways. This is also a picture of me my sophomore year of high school. Okay, so I went to college in the University of South Dakota, and I moved to Minneapolis right after I graduated. Here's a picture of my family, a picture I took of CDH. And one thing you need to know about me is that I teach social studies, I teach English, but I also work in the admissions office. So every morning from periods 1 to 4, I'm in the admissions office. I'm welcoming new faces to campus, so I might not be able to answer your emails immediately. In the afternoon, I'm always teaching, but I'm really great about being available in the evenings. I'm great about being available in the morning, so it's just kind of what you prefer, okay? But you need to know I work in the admissions office, okay? So I've kind of got a lot of hats to wear, but I wouldn't have it any other way. All right, I have 2 dogs, Wilson and Fiona. They are kind of my children. At one point, I did not have any dental insurance, but my dogs did have insurance. So, you know what I mean? Like, I love them. They're kind of my kids. I'm also a huge Taylor Swift fan, so just some things you know about me. This is where you can find a link to our syllabus. And the last thing I want you to know that if you do the work in this class, you're gonna excel. You're going to do great. So I think the biggest challenge about this class is just kind of getting into the hang of it. Where do I find my work? How am I going to meet with Miss Weiss? Like, how am I going to communicate with her? And then, how am I most effectively going to do my work? Okay, so that's a little bit about me, a little bit about this class. There's not a lot to it. So, I'm going to get off this video. This is just kind of, again, what we covered today: how to navigate Google Classroom, how to navigate our agenda where you're going to find things, and then, where you turn stuff in. Okay, last thing I want to say again, if you would rather call me on the phone at any time, please let me know that. Otherwise, your last task for the day, join Google Classroom. Email me when you would like to meet this week. If you email me sooner rather than later, like if we meet Monday or Tuesday, it'd be kind of helpful for you because then I can just kind of go through um, the first couple days of work. Okay, so let me know what works for you. Otherwise, I'm really looking forward to meeting with you and getting to know you this trimester. All right, go Raiders. Miss Weiss is signing off.